Hey, welcome again to Ramsey Legacy Woodworks. Today we're starting a new project. We're working on the Craig family dining room table. This wood you see behind me is wood that they actually ripped out of a building that they converted to a brewery / apartments, and it's really old wood that was inside some of the old structure. And so they've saved it all these years so they could build an awesome table out of it. I've done a little bit of pre-work on this stuff. You can see what it kind of looks like on the surface here when you do it, and then when you work it gets to be, like this, and then with a little bit of finish, it should look kind of that honey. Did a little bit of research there, and so it's southern yellow pine, I'm guessing, so it's light, but it'll make a nice table when it's all done. They don't grow pine like this anymore, so it's always fun to work with some old southern yellow pine. So today, the idea is to grab 12-foot, it's going to be a 12-foot table. I have to grab some 12-foot sections and begin to get the nails out of it. Some of this wood does have some foreign objects in it, so we have to get them out, and then we will try and get as close as we can to having the pieces for a 4-foot by 12-foot table ready to glue up and begin that process. So that's today. Project started off really exciting. We had plans for making the table for years. Actually, they had talked to us about making it when we lived in Quincy, and then we had to give them the hard news that we were actually moving away. Yet they still decided to have us make the table. So it created a really interesting experience for it, because first thing they had to do was ship us the wood. This is why I typically don't work with reclaimed wood. All of these are nails that are in the side. We are just barely into this, and let me show you another reason why I don't love working with reclaimed wood. See if you can see what that is. Check out that termite damage. So we got termite damage running all the way up and down. Now, I'm fairly certain the termites are gone, but still. You hate to see it. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to get enough wood off of 12-foot piece of wood out of this. So I'm going to do my best, and we'll see if we have to change directions. If you ever thought to yourself, woodworking sounds like a great, clean hobby, you might reconsider. All right, we got the wood all ready here. We had to scrap and scrape to get enough 4-foot wide for 12 feet long, but we got there. Again, it's gonna be an interesting ride. Let's keep going. Next will be planing. Well, we gotta get some nails out, and then we'll plane. And then they shipped it to my house, and so I had this wood stored in my house, and so it was really beat up wood. It's pine, it's old pine, and it was old, it was beat up. So I had to come up with a plan how I was going to use this wood and how I was going to make it to the standards that I wanted it to be. So here we are. It's been a couple days. Had a weekend, a church, all that stuff. Here is the tabletop. It is planed down to its plane surface. They're all down the same thickness. So today we are actually going to be laying them out the way we want, which side we want to be the top, which side's the bottom, the order that we want, getting the final dimension, getting down to 4 feet across, 12 feet in length. And then we will be doing the glue up. The glue up will be marking the place for the pegs to go in to do the alignment, and then we will glue it up, clamp it up, and have the glue up done. I got all that done. Everybody woke up and slide it this way. I found that carving thing I needed. It was like $30 from.
All right, it's time for one of those awesome time lapses of gluing up. Here we're laying out all the pieces, getting them ready to go. And first thing we're going to do is going to go through and pound in all of those pegs. Those pegs are going to show us exactly when we're lined up correctly, exactly the right depth that we need to go to on both the top and bottom, and it's going to hold everything in place during the process of the glue up. So here we are, just getting all the glue poured on this. The glue has a pretty wide open time, especially with it being pretty humid out when I did this. But it is stressful nonetheless, and my dad's here helping me. Praise the Lord. He's so helpful in those times. And then Alyssa, my wife, comes out, and we're kind of clamping and gluing and wiping it all on. But it is a stressful time. And so I might have had to make an apology about being a little too snappy after I did this. But we got it all done, and then we're going through here and wiping off the glue so that the sanding and ultimate cleanup is a little bit easier. Again, great tabletop glue up. If they went this way every time, that would be fantastic.
Who's talking about? Pokey pokey. Oh, online? She's ready. You okay, buddy? I mean, you could use. I think technically you could even use hide glue like we used on. Cuts the fibers so that they're more apt not to split right there. It'll break the line instead of. as I was cutting into it and getting the boards milled to be good for a glue up for a tabletop, I noticed it had a lot of termite damage in the wood. And I had never really worked with termite damage before, so I was, my first problem that I faced. So I came up with a plan to fill the holes with epoxy. And then sand the epoxy down to the level of the wood, and hopefully that would fill in the holes, because I didn't want all these tiny little holes in the table, because like, what if you spilled milk on it, whatever, you would never get that out and it would smell terrible. So I wanted it to be something they could practically use, because this is going to be a place where families were hosted multiple times a week for small group, for gatherings, for family gatherings. And so it has to be able to take some abuse. So did that, and then I filled in the epoxy, and then I came back to sand it out, and what was happening was two things. One, when I would sand around the epoxy into the pine, it would take more pine off around the epoxy, which would left grooves and bumps in the wood, which was unacceptable. The second thing that was a problem is it was staining the wood where the epoxy kind of overspill was, that wasn't in the tiny little holes. And so I assumed that it would be the color of like finish, if you put like oil or polyurethane on there, that would be the same color. It turns out after doing tests, it was not actually. And so we ran into all sorts of issues with that. This took weeks for me to figure out how to do and what solution to come to. I tried a couple other solutions and just couldn't get a good solution until I finally submitted to the idea of doing a epoxy resin bar top table pour. These are a couple pieces that I had of the wood of the table that I was using as test pieces to see what would work and if it would fill these issues. And so my clients did not want any sort of like shiny bar top. So like this whole idea right here was not going to work. But this is the natural kind of finish when you do that bar top pour. And so I had to figure out what to do. I found out through research that you can actually put a polyurethane over an epoxy resin tabletop, bar top table, if you sand before applying it and get it real clean. And so this gave me the ability to find a good polyurethane finish to get the wood finished. The nice thing is that we had already decided on a polyurethane finish, because it's originally what was going to go over the tabletop. And so once we knew this, did the pour, it took 4 gallons of epoxy resin just to fill in the holes and everything that was on there, and then to make it to where it worked well. What I didn't tell you is that I ended up having to flip the table over, because the top was ruined from the epoxy stuff. It just didn't have, it was very splotchy looking. It didn't have the finish that I would be happy with. And so I ended up having to flip the table over and use the bottom side for the top side, which was okay. It was just a little bit, had just a little bit more voids in it than I would have liked for the initial top.
And another glue up with my dad. He is always available for me when I need him. That is a blessing that I know many don't have, and so I don't take it for granted. But here we're actually gluing up the 3 beams that run down the center of the table. It'll make sense when you get to the end of this video to see what they are. But had to, after getting them all planed and to size, had to then fold them up and glue 3 of them together. So these are 3 individual beams that I'm putting all together and then clamping into one. So luckily, we kept glue off of in between the sides that didn't need to be glued, and we didn't have any major mishaps. But we did this at night. The sun had gone down, and it was another good glue.
computer. I got you.
Look at that. the edge of each of these. There we go. Now I should go up. Now we can move it over to the edge here. You ready to tilt? You got it? Who's at the top? So we got the epoxy resin pour done after 4 gallons, multiple weeks of it setting up and getting all that done, and we're able to sand it smooth, and then do the final polyurethane finish on them. We tried 2 different polyurethane finishes and tests. This was up here was the ultra matte finish, and then this one was just a typical satin finish, and it has more streaky in it than the matte. I don't know if you could tell, and so we just felt a lot better with the matte, and it gave it more of a wood look for the matte, at the same time having the added benefit of all the gaps being filled in by the epoxy resin. So the entire piece was covered in this polyurethane, this ultra matte polyurethane. Step up. Okay.
Shield to protect myself.
It's just unfortunate. How much are we hanging out a lot?
Like 3/4 of a foot. No, actually, almost. Drop it. We'll drop it.
Are you gonna like build it like up there?
So at least I'll do that.
Oh, it's so pretty, Ryan.
After that, it was ready to go, just some light sanding, and we shipped it. We didn't ship it, we took it to Quincy. We actually got a U-Haul and took it to their place, and we were able to get some help to carrying it and doing it and assembling it there.
I'm good. You guys are good.
You can lean it towards us if you want, but I don't want that.
How's everyone feeling?
I feel like I'm
Confident?
back my way.
Alright, I'm gonna help Sammy on the rear. Good. Keep going. Good? Keep it from forward. So it's gonna be interesting.
That's the bottom.
I know, but the other side is like.
It looks really nice.
Hold on, I got you. Like I can't keep it all over anymore. Stable's insane. I got it stable, so you're good. Yeah, watch your fingers. Clear. Clear. You want to get that ladder? Somebody get that ladder. I'll go down on my end. Yeah.
Just set, don't go to the middle, go to the top first. So there's, you go and set it down. Just set one there and see. One of these has a chisel. It's different than the rest.
John? Did they trump you with this?
Yeah, Jerry, protect it.
The new has come.
Mom, new things have come. 2 Corinthians 5:17. This table was built in the fall of 2024 in Peru, Indiana by Ryan Ramsey of Ramsey Legacy Woodworks. Multiplied. May the peace and life of Jesus be ever present, and may every seat be a place of welcome. I'm so.
Stuff that has dry damage. It was like hollow in there. It's like it soaked up all the epoxy, so I did a second coat of epoxy. And then after the epoxy set on there, I filled in any, and I did some bubble the way it's I did. That was Portland. It's like pieces of wood. I'm guessing. Yeah. What are you taking my?
I am Josh, and this is my wife Tierney. We live in Quincy, Illinois. We own Quincy Brewing Company. In the middle of our renovation, underneath the part that is now our actual brewing space, below multiple layers of subfloor, we actually discovered some old 1800s 2x12s that we have saved and reclaimed and have now utilized to build this awesome table.
So family is at the heart of everything we do, specifically community. So we have shared so many meals around so many tables, and I feel like some of our best memories with our family and friends are breaking bread. So when we discovered the wood, we basically have been keeping it safe for about 6 years now, and we thought having a very, very large table was the perfect reason to use the wood. So we became friends with Ryan and Alyssa, and we saw many of their handiwork, and we decided they would be the perfect candidates to build this table. We've actually broken bread with them, and we thought their talents would be best used to make this table for us. The table is better than I ever dreamed it would be. I sent Ryan inspiration, I gave him my thoughts, and not only did he meet everything that I gave him as far as a vision, he actually exceeded it, and it's beautiful, and I can't wait to use it myself, and then my children to use it, and my grandchildren to use it, and it to be around forever.
Overall, I would say this project was very challenging. I learned a ton about different materials. I never done an epoxy resin pour like that. I'd only done like filling, gaps for just small holes. But this actually gave me the opportunity to do a whole bar top pour, which the process for doing a river table or something like that would be similar, and I kind of am kind of acclimated to how that would work, so I feel more comfortable with it, so that's good. The wood was really challenging in this project to work with. I don't think I want to work with that type of wood again. Just dirty, tough to work with. It was a lot, just to say that, it was a lot. So I am thankful for the project because we love them very dearly. But I think I would like to stick with milled wood or new wood, reclaimed wood, unless it's a very special reason. It's something I'll probably stay away from. So I hope that you enjoyed this table build. I know it's been a long process. This whole Ramsey Legacy Woodworks thing is a hobby for me. I work a full-time job, and so this is just kind of weekends and some evenings at home, and so it takes a little bit of time to crank out big projects, but we enjoy doing it and we have a good time creating things and creating a legacy for people. If you're interested in doing something with us, a project you want quoted or you want to talk about us building for you, I'd just encourage you to go to RamseyLegacyWoodworks.com and just get a hold of us, and we'd love to talk with you about what you want to do to help create a legacy piece. So something that would help us huge is just hitting that subscribe button here on YouTube, following us on Instagram, and even on Facebook, because the more people we have connected with, the more way we can tell you what kind of products we're making and how we can help you to begin to create a legacy with your home, with your life, and even with these furniture pieces that you can create to pass down for generations. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you next time.